of Celebrity Family Feud. Tomorrow at 8/7 Central on ABC.
Be there from the beginning.
I miss you like crazy, buddy.
Maybe Daddy don't want to see me.
A single dad struggles with a big decision.
I am at war with myself.
Then, the men take the stage in an explosive tell-all.
By implicating no one, you implicated everyone.
One of those is a lie, bro.
And Katie faces her exes.
What if we had more time together?
Including you-know-who.
Thomas.
To be unkind is a huge red flag for me.
The Bachelorette, The Men Tell All, Monday on ABC.
Now, as the country reopens with so much hope for a brighter summer, it's time to
Rise and shine.
We're traveling to all 50 states. Celebrate.
This is Kolo 8 News Now at 11, covering the news that matters to you.
The Tamarack fire continues to burn. Tonight on Kolo 8 News Now, a look at the recovery efforts to help evacuees affected. And a robbery in Lemon Valley. Take a look at the reward being offered for information leading up to an arrest there. And a fundraiser for local kids in tough times. We'll let you know what is happening this weekend in Midtown. Good evening and thanks for joining us on Kolo 8 News Now at 11 o'clock. I'm Ben Dietz. Let's start with our first alert fire coverage this evening. The Tamarack fire is responsible for burning over 66,000 acres, and it's only 4% contained. 13 structures have been lost in the blaze. Firefighters have continued to keep the fire south of State Route 88. Highways 88 and 89 remain closed in the fire area to all traffic except for fire crews. And a portion of US 395 also remains closed for firefighter and public safety. Voluntary evacuations have been issued for all residents north of Leviathan Mine Road, Holbrook Junction, and Topaz Lake. Nearly 3 weeks after its start, the Tamarack fire is still posing a problem to those in Nevada and California. There are plenty of recovery efforts to help evacuees affected. Kolo 8 News Now's Kurt Schroeder shows us what's being done.
The scene this afternoon along 395 on the way to Topaz Lake. Road closures there as well as along 88 as the Tamarack fire burns for the 21st day in a row. Last night, we stopped by a Douglas County evacuation center at Smith Valley High School where hundreds of people had to spend the night.
Gentlemen's come up to my door and they knocked and told me I had to get out to evacuate, and so I did. I hurried up and got what I could.
Eunice Wallace and her neighbors in Holbrook Junction hoping their homes are still intact. Lyon County Manager Jeff Page, who oversees the shelter, says that he hasn't seen this many displaced people in quite some time.
Roof over their head, food, a safe location to be, hopefully better information on what's going on with the fire, so some idea where they can go home and what's going on in their neighborhood. Getting to Holbrook Junction was not an option today. Smoke continuing to fill the sky. While the fire is a nightmare for some, others are using it as an opportunity to give back. Donation drop-offs were set up at the Carson Valley Inn in Minden, another one at the Douglas County Fairgrounds in Gardnerville.
We thought we had this big pavilion, half full. Why not actually bring donations here to help those that are struggling through this time?
Chelsea Simerson has been helping run the Silver and Sage Youth Livestock Show at the fairgrounds, an unrelated event, but saw the bigger need. She's been helping collect blankets, toys, animal feed, and other items for fire victims. She says 20 people have stopped by looking for help.
When the fire kicked off and we had this opportunity, we thought what a great way to reach out and help others. Donations are also being collected at the Douglas County Community and Senior Center. Reporting in Douglas County, Kurt Schroeder, Kolo 8 News Now.
And the Dixie fire has burned almost 200,000 acres. It's currently only 20% contained. Windy conditions yesterday pushed that fire to the north and to the east. Fire experts say there is a threat of thunderstorms, which could spark more blazes. The following evacuations are in effect for Plumas and Butte counties, where the Dixie fire is still burning. Yesterday, thousands of people told to leave their homes. New evacuation orders being used for the areas north of Chandler Road, including the north side of that road from Oakland Camp Road to Highway 70 East. You also have Greenville, Crescent Mills, and Highway 70 between the Greenville area, Y, and Quincy. The western half of Quincy is under an evacuation warning, as well as the Butte Meadows area. And the Washoe County Health District has upgraded its air pollution warning from stage 1 to stage 2, stating that air quality is expected to be very unhealthy to hazardous this weekend due to the wildfires. Our current air quality index is at 165. That means it falls into the unhealthy range. Let's take a look at current conditions weather-wise here in northern Nevada. Typically, we're going to be at around 95 this time of the year. Today, we got up to 100, only 2 degrees off of the record high for this date. Currently sitting at 83 outside here in Reno, as you can see from our tower cam. In Carson City, 77, 83 in Fallon, 84 in Lovelock, 64 in State Line, and 83 up in Winnemucca. Jeff will have a full look at your forecast coming up a little bit later on in our newscast. But let's turn to the latest on the coronavirus. The U.S. now recording more than 43,000 cases per day. That's up nearly 51% in the past week, more than 3 times the number in late June. And as Ty Hernandez shows us, states where vaccination rates are the lowest are getting hit the hardest.
Hospitals across the country are once again filling up with COVID patients. Admissions jumping nearly 36% this week. 306,000 Americans infected, the nation's highest weekly total in months. Florida seeing more than 10,000 cases a day. And now concerns that Miami's Rolling Loud Music Festival this weekend could become a super spreader event. Nurses on the front lines say with the Delta variant, this latest surge is different.
I have not personally taken care of one patient that I have gotten to remove the ventilator from, and they succeed and get to move out of our unit.
Nationwide, more than 66% of the eligible population, those 12 and over, have received at least 1 vaccine dose. More than 57% are fully vaccinated. Many are still hesitant, but some doctors say they are starting to see attitudes toward vaccines change.
All the patients who are hospitalized here upon recovery, change their mind and would get vaccinated once they are discharged.
In Arkansas, Tate Ezzy and his pregnant wife are both unvaccinated, and they both ended up hospitalized with COVID. She lost the baby.
I do want to just tell my story because it could happen to me, it could happen to anybody.
And now there are new questions about the possibility of vaccine booster shots. The New York Times reporting senior health officials believe a 3rd shot may be necessary for the immunocompromised or those over 65 who received Pfizer or Moderna vaccines. The CDC has said it's exploring multiple options, but notes more evidence is needed. Ty Hernandez, ABC News, New York.
Let's turn to Crime Watch. Secret Witness is offering a $1,500 reward for information leading to the arrest and prosecution of 2 suspects who they say robbed a 7-Eleven on Friday. This happened in Lemon Valley shortly after 5 a.m. The Washoe County Sheriff's Office says that one suspect waited by the door while the other walked up to the clerk, pointed a weapon, and demanded money. They then left on foot with an undisclosed amount of cash. The armed suspect wore a dark hooded jacket, white shoes, and a ski mask. The lookout was smaller, possibly a woman or a young adult, and wore a dark hoodie or dark coat with a hood. Now, if you have any information on this, give Secret Witness a call. Their number 322-4900. The community is invited to a fundraiser tomorrow to help alopecia and cancer patients. The Show and Shine event to raise money for Wigs for Kids. The owner of Revamp Salon has partnered with the nonprofit for 4 years. She says monetary donations and hair donations were greatly impacted during the pandemic, especially during the time when salons were forced to close. She hopes that the community will come out tomorrow to support a great cause.
I do have Ellie coming, my last Wigs for Kids recipient, and we want to just kind of associate, have people have an association with the cause and what their money's going for and how it's helped her and affected her. So the day of, we're focusing a different focus, but anytime people can call us and we'd be happy to send in those donations and get appointments for them.
You can check out the event at 1575 South Virginia Street in Midtown. It runs tomorrow, that's Sunday, from 9 a.m. until 2 p.m. There will be food, raffles, and music. Well, up next, the Olympic Games underway. We'll take a look at the first full day of competition and tell you which American was the first to win gold.
This is Kolo 8 News Now at 11, covering the news that matters to you with Ben Deach.
And your first alert weather forecast with Mary Jane Bellieza.
This is Kolo 8 News Now at 11, covering the news that matters to you.
This weekend at At More Furniture for Less, the savings are really adding up.
Give your home a summer refresh and take advantage of free white glove delivery, 2023 interest-free financing, and an additional 11% off.
The style and selection you love at More Furniture is even better when you add up the savings.
And with free white glove delivery, 2023 interest-free financing, and an extra 11% discount.
You're sure to find the looks you love at an exceptional value. Preview all sales specials at morefurniture.com.
When you're injured in an accident, the insurance company's game is to find any excuse not to pay. Guess what? When you're with us, game over. They're paying.
Go lightly in Vanna. 222-3333.
A Ford built for you, by you. Get yours, built from the ground up with your choice of colors, wheels, and other available features specific. Escape, 5 GOAT modes in Bronco Sport, or best-in-class gas torque in a Ranger, you've got it. And now an extra $1,000 bonus cash on top of all public offers. See your dealer for a Ford built for you, by you. Build and order your select Ford today and get $1,000 bonus cash in addition to all public offers.
Lee's Discount Liquor, Nevada's largest liquor retailer, is a proud sponsor of Nevada's Wolfpack basketball and football. Our Reno stores are ready to serve you with the widest selection and best prices in town. Visit us today at Lee's Discount Liquor.
Guys, as a urologist, I've seen it all. What's normal for some men may not be normal for others. So if your normal erection is off because of a bend with a bump that bothers you, then we should talk. Because it could be Peyronie's disease, or PD, a treatable condition that involves a buildup of scar tissue. Don't wait. Find a urologist who can diagnose and treat PD and can explain all your options, including non-surgical treatments. Find a specialized urologist today at takeonpd.com.
Can I feel safe leaving my car with you?
At Greg's Garage, we take extra steps to keep you safe. On every vehicle that enters our shop, we install seat covers, floor mat protectors, steering wheel covers, and most importantly, disinfect your vehicle before we return it. Going the extra mile is what we do, day in and day out. You can count on Greg's Garage.
Greg's Garage.
Fundraising has taken on more importance for the Carson City Greenhouse Project this year as it's had to cancel events. For more information, visit kolocares.com.
Covering the key issues facing our schools. KOLO 8 News Now, covering the stories that matter to you.
Well, we started out the show talking about the Tamarack fire and the Dixie fire, but others continue to rage across the West as well. Melanie Wingo shows us the Fly fire in the area of Quincy, California, only about 5% contained.
The town of Quincy on edge as bright orange flames from the Fly fire can be seen not too far in the distance.
Right now we just have an advisory, and so I've got everything packed up by the door and I'm ready to go as soon as the word comes, and until then I'm going to stay here and keep watering the lawn.
Caitlin Rangel packed and ready to go if an evacuation order goes into effect.
We took a little drive to the road right around this corner and you could see the flames. That was the first time we saw the actual like red hot flames, and that was pretty spooky. We thought, okay, well that's getting really close.
Caitlin's dad, who lives in the Feather River Canyon up the road, evacuated his place, as did several people in rural communities just north of Quincy as the fire burned through over the last day and a half, leaving in its path smoke, burned land, and still so much on fire. And just a glimpse into the structure protection that goes into fighting these fires. You can still see some residue from a retardant drop that happened right in this area, right on Highway 70, that came from a retardant dropping train. Back in the town of Quincy, Caitlin says this is the closest she's seen wildfire get to her town in the 5 years she's lived here. But that doesn't have her thinking of calling any other place home.
For now, I love this place so much that it's not going to scare me away yet.
And now, your KOLO 8 First Alert Weather Forecast with Chief Meteorologist Jeff Thompson.
Smoke, smoke, smoke. Yuck, yuck, yuck. And it's going to stay with us over the next few days. Here's HD Futurecast looking at the smoke. And where you see this blue-purple color, this is the really heavy, thick stuff coming down off the Dixie fire in Plumas County. I expect it to again spill down on with us through the day. For Sunday morning and kind of stick with us through the day. And again, you get kind of reinforcing shots of it over the next few nights and mornings. This is nasty stuff. And the thing you don't see is really any relief, because even in areas that aren't getting the smoke, you're talking about something that's a heavy haze, unhealthy for sensitive groups, maybe on the low end, and then hazardous air quality when the smoke is really thick. So smoke and heat in the forecast through your Sunday. Once we get to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the concern starts to look at thunderstorms. I think we'll see a few more thunderstorms on Sunday afternoon. 100 Saturday for our daytime high, so that is 16 days now at or above 100 degrees for Reno, Nevada for the calendar year. The record, by the way, 20 days. That was set back in 2018. So another 100 added to the list, and yes, we're going to have a good shot again on Sunday at the century mark. Here's HD Futurecast. Thunderstorms. We will see them again on Sunday, early in the afternoon, developing down over Mono County. Potentially, we get some rain on the Tamarack fire, but also the gusty wind, which is tough for fire crews on that fire. And then thunderstorms will get as far north as Highway 50. I think we'll get Tuesday into Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday, most of next week. Around the backside of this area of high pressure, thunderstorms will be in the forecast each afternoon and evening, taking it all the way through next week. Tuesday looks like the best chance maybe for Reno Sparks to get wet, but we will watch. And again, thunderstorms are a mixed bag. They can really cool things down and bring some much needed rainfall, but as I mentioned, they also bring some wild, erratic, gusty wind that wreaks havoc on fire lines, and when thunderstorms are around, crews cannot attack these fires from the air. So those are bad things. Plus lightning and wind, thunderstorms can start fires and spread them. A little better chance at hearing thunder in the southern zones on Sunday. In fact, that'll be the best chance area-wide. Eastern zones will keep the thunderstorms out until we get into Monday and next week. Central zones the same, but still watching the smoke. It'll be heavy at times. More of a thick haze as you get out into central and eastern Nevada, but for the metro zones, I think more of this than that. Heavy smoke at times drifting down from the Dixie fire onto the Sierra front. We just don't have that strong west-southwesterly wind to kind of sweep the smoke out in the afternoon and evening hours. I mean, it's good news that it's not driving the fires as it did a few days ago, but boy, that allows that smoke to just kind of pool into valley locations, and it is nasty out there. So the 8-day forecast, the weather concern goes from smoke and heat to thunderstorms. The good piece of news is we're going to have temperatures coming down into the early to middle part of next week.
And you can keep track of that forecast wherever you go and keep up to date with breaking news alerts just by downloading the free KOLO 8 News Now app. The Olympics underway after a year delay thanks to the pandemic. So far, one of the highlights has been Hartford County swimmer Chase Calise bringing home the U.S.'s first gold medal. Alex Prichet's got a look at some of the other highlights of day one.
Following an opening ceremony unlike any other, the first full day of Olympic competition began. China's Yang Chen winning the first gold medal of these delayed 2020 games in the women's 10-meter air rifle competition. First Lady Jill Biden joined French President Emmanuel Macron at the women's 3-on-3 basketball game between their two countries. Mrs. Biden speaking with the U.S. team following their victory. She also spent some time cheering on Team USA swimmers in their quality. Tomorrow, men's swimming team captain Ryan Murphy will compete in the 100-meter backstroke. Another day one highlight, the men's gymnastic qualifying round. 7-time NCAA champion and first-time Olympian Brody Malone says the one-year postponement was helpful.
Having the year off just really gave me the time to get more numbers under my belt and get more confident.
The men's gymnastic competition set to begin Saturday evening, while the women's gymnastic qualifying round begins on Sunday. But as the athletes compete, protesters continue to demand the games be canceled due to the pandemic. On Saturday, more than 1,100 new cases of COVID-19 were reported in Tokyo. The country seeing a 133% increase in cases in just the past week. And now the match canceled after Czechoslovakia's Markéta Slukova tested positive for the virus. In Washington, Alex Perche, ABC News.
There were a total of 10 COVID cases on the second day of the games. According to Tokyo 2020 organizers, 2 of the new cases were in the Olympic Village, including 1 athlete. Another athlete also tested positive but was not a resident of the village. So far, there has been a total of 137 games-related cases. Tokyo 2020 has not yet revealed their names or nationalities. And in history-making news, 2 new events are going to be added to the games this year: skateboarding and surfing. Skateboarding is going to make its debut tonight with a language all to its own. There are grabs, grinds, slides, and a myriad of other words that describe the tricks you'll see skaters performing. The men's street final will take place. Well, actually, I guess it already did take place tonight, come to find out. And the first Olympic medals in men's skateboarding history will be given out. Well, up next, it was a close call. How a 9-year-old girl used what she had learned in school to save herself during a house fire.
When you can't watch, listen to our news partner, News Talk 780 KOH or KKOH.com. Traffic, jobs, and housing prices. These problems affect everyone in the area. On Monday, Noah Bond focuses on what the future holds for Sparks. Don't miss the future of Sparks beginning Monday at 4 on Kolo 8 News Now, covering the news that matters to you.
At Lithia Reno Subaru, we pay our top dollar for your trade. Never get less than $3,000. Also have a great selection of new leases available. Take your pick. Lease a new 2021 all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza for only $159 a month for 36 months. Or a new 2021 all-wheel drive Subaru Ascent Premium 8-passenger for just $289 a month for 36 months. And be sure to check out the new 2022 Subaru Outback and Legacy. Join the fun with Lithia Reno Subaru at the 2021 Tahoe Nalu Paddle Festival, August 7th and 8th at Kings Beach. Get the Lithia Reno Subaru on Kitsky and Grove.
All Denny's pancakes are made to order with fresh buttermilk, but this month's Spotlight Stack is a Patriot. Fresh, sweet, and full of freedom. New red, white, and blue pancakes. This month's Spotlight Stack. See you at Denny's.
I consign furniture. It's the easy way to sell, smart way to buy.
So, why should I consign rather than listing my furniture online?
Great question. Using an online app can be dangerous. Consign Furniture helps you keep your personal data private and safe. Our proven track record has been helping buyers and sellers for over 10 years.
I consign furniture. It's the easy way to sell, smart way to buy.
Buying your first home is the start of realizing bigger dreams with your family. That's why it's important to protect everything you love with American Family Insurance. Wait, what's that?
It's their dream car.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. It's actually my dream car. And my little dream tire swing with some dream trees. There'd be a nice dream garden right here, too.
Protect your dream home with American Family Insurance.
Insure carefully, dream fearlessly.
American Family Insurance.
Country. Lifestyle. Music. Right here in The Circle. A network that offers you a variety of programming from classic country shows to westerns, country lifestyle, and legendary music performances. Country plays here, keeping The Circle unbroken with Opry Live on Saturday nights. Join us in The Circle.
Over the air on 8.4.
We bring style into your home. Sparks, Tile, and Stone.
At Sparks Tile & Stone, we offer thousands of products and in-store design services to make any dream space become a reality. Come and see us today and let us help you every step of the way. Sparks Tile & Stone, making your home the showcase of your dreams.
Kolo 8 News Now at 5 is honored with an Emmy for Best Newscast.
Well, here's a story of a kid taking command in a tough situation. 9-year-old Erin Nichols put what she'd learned in school to use when her house caught on fire. Ronnie Dawes has her story.
She's one of the biggest heroes here in this situation.
9-year-old Erin Nichols was calm, cool, and collected when a blaze broke out at her Penn Township home, the kitchen fire causing her home to quickly fill with smoke.
I couldn't see,
and I couldn't breathe down there. So I came in here and I closed my door.
A lesson she learned in school.
A technique that we use called vent, enter, isolate, search. They're taught to close their bedroom door. They're taught to, put a barrier down to keep the smoke from coming in. They're taught to open the window and go to the window and call for help.
While her brother called for help, Erin used her training to keep her safe.
I covered the vent with one of the towels I had in my room, and I opened my window when the fireman got here, and I called for help, and then I broke my screen door, and they got me off of the roof and onto the ground where I was safe.
The Penn Township Fire Chief says all too often we see a different end result when things don't go well, which stresses the importance of public education in fire safety for the community.
She just went along with her training. She obviously paid attention in school, and she put to work what she learned. And it was the Elkhart City Fire Department that came to her school when she was in 2nd grade, taught these kids what they needed to know, and it stuck with her. It's great. It's one of the best stories that I've had in my career to see the outcome like that.
Well, 120 people have been infected with a potentially deadly fungus throughout Texas and Washington, D.C. that started back in January. The fungus is called Candida auris, or C. auris. What concerns the CDC is the fact that a handful of cases were resistant to all known treatments. And since the fungus seems to spread in healthcare settings, the CDC wants doctors to be on the lookout, especially in long-term care facilities. Well, up next, a 90-year-old man has decided to walk thousands of miles. So look at what is motivating him to do it.
This weekend at More Furniture for Less, the savings are really adding up.
Give your home a summer refresh and take advantage of free white glove delivery, 2023 interest-free financing, and an additional 11% off.
The style and selection you love at More Furniture is even better when you add up the savings.
And with free white glove delivery, 2023 interest-free financing, and an extra 11% discount.
You're sure to find the looks you love at an exceptional value. Preview all sales specials at morefurniture.com.
Kids like me have trouble walking. Kids like me avoid the spotlight.
We can't go to sleepovers.
Or go on long hikes.
But Shriners Hospitals for Children changed everything.
Shriners Hospitals for Children Northern California is top ranked with some of the most innovative pediatric specialists in the world who work relentlessly to provide the best possible outcome, a confident childhood. Shriners Hospitals for Children, the most amazing care anywhere.
Feeling stressed? Relax now with the Hot Tub by Tough Spas. Tough Spas has immediate delivery available on all in-stock models. Save thousands by buying directly from the factory. Tough Spas factory stores have hot tubs starting at $29.95. A Tough Spa is easy to own. Simply fill up, plug in, and lasts forever and is simple to use. Ease your stress with a hot tub by Tough Spas. Call today or visit online at toughspas.com. With Tough Spas, you can relax. We've got you covered.
Whether you're out for a night on the town, a trip to the lake, or a getaway from it all, United Nissan has a vehicle that can take you there. We are fully stocked with quality pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs that are ready to fit a wide range of lifestyles and budgets. So when you're ready to seek adventure, luxury, and excitement, make United Nissan Reno your first destination. Shop our entire inventory right now at UnitedNissanReno.com.
Delicious. Today I'm reviewing Pebbles donuts. Let's get into it. Guys, that is some good stuff right there. It's like donuts and cereal. No burn or anything. This is so good. High Nick, I heard, a lot of nicotine in here.
A 90-year-old Illinois man is walking thousands of miles to raise money to help children with cancer. Yukari Nakayama met with the man from Indiana who just keeps on going.
For 90-year-old Dean Troutman from northern Peoria,
got my schedule figured out, and I don't allow a day off. 7 days a week.
There's no finish line for his charity walk for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital in Tennessee, but a donation goal. And this isn't Troutman's first walk for the hospital, but it will be his last.
If these old legs will hold up and the donations continue flowing into St. Jude, I'm going to continue this circle through 16 states, and I'll return back home next July or August.
Today, making his way through Goodland, Indiana. On the way, meeting his supporters.
It's amazing. I don't know that at my age I could do that, but I give him much kudos for doing it because it's quite a feat, especially at 90.
Dean Troutman has walked through highways, streets, and everything in between, walking about 150 miles so far. And he says he's got thousands to go. The 90-year-old says he'll be walking a total of 3,500 miles, spanning the central and southern United States.
He's hoping if it goes national and he gets to complete the whole thing, maybe he'll come up into the $500,000 to $1 million range, even if he can get the right people.
So far, raising $16,000 11 days. Troutman says he's got a lot of things he needs to survive in his cart. His most precious cargo, a picture of his late wife, the reason he started his charity walk. He says as long as he can, he'll continue to walk to reach his $1 million goal.
If the donations keep pouring in and my legs hold up, I'm just going to continue walking.
Wonder if he's listening to the proclaimers at any point during that march. Anyway, marched in Paris today. The protests come almost 2 weeks after French President Emmanuel Macron announced plans to extend the use of France's national coronavirus health pass. The pass is a certificate showing proof of full vaccination or a negative test result taken in the previous 48 hours. You can also have proof of recent recovery from COVID-19. Under the government's proposal, which is yet to be approved, it could also be required in restaurants, malls, long train journeys, and workers. And Colorado authorities are investigating the death of a 10-year-old child linked to the plague. The state's Department of Public Health and Environment says the death comes as cases of the plague were confirmed in animals and fleas in at least 6 counties. The CDC says that humans can get the plague if they are bitten by rodents or animals who are infected. They say it can be treated with antibiotics if caught during the early stages. And one of California's most notorious serial killers has died in prison of natural causes. Rodney James Alcala, better known as the dating game killer, was 77 years old. He was on death row since 2010, having been convicted of the murders of 5 California women. He later pleaded guilty to committing 2 murders in New York as well, and was also suspected of homicides in 4 other states. His nickname came from his appearance on a popular game show. Right after this.
Sell your property as is. No repairs, no out-of-pocket money. We will help you set everything up so you don't have to do a thing. Give me a call at 787-7400.
Call Marshall Realty.
Sunday Catholic Mass is presented Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. on Kolo 8 from the Carmelite Monastery in Reno, Nevada.
Lee's Discount Liquor, Nevada's largest liquor retailer, is a proud sponsor of Nevada's Wolfpack basketball and football. Our Reno stores are ready to serve you with the widest selection and best prices in town. Visit us today at Lee's Discount Liquor.
Think premium can't be capable? Think again. Introducing the first ever AT4 lineup. Premium and capable. That's professional grade from GMC. Current eligible GMC owners get over $3,700 purchase allowance on 2021 GMC Sierra Light Duty Crew Cab models when you finance through GM Financial.
Summer is the perfect time to plan your staycation at a world-class resort on Alabama's Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail. Escape to the Grand Hotel in Point Clear or the Renaissance Birmingham Ross Bridge Resort, starting at just $429.
Get away to the Auburn Marriott at Grand National or the Marriott Shoals Hotel and Spa beginning at only $129. Experience world-class luxury at family-friendly prices at rtjresorts.com.
We're the Justice Society of America. We can't quit. Who are you? I'm Green Lantern's daughter.
There is this villain from the old days.
We're never gonna stop fighting to protect the world from people like you.
Don't you teach these children any manners?
Stargirl. New episodes start Tuesday, August 10th, only on the CW.
Sellers, no upfront costs, no appraisals, no out-of-pocket repairs. Matter of fact, you don't pay me a penny until I sell your property on the MLS. Give me a call, 787-7400.
Call Marshall Realty.
Well, the city of San Francisco could be spending 20 grand on a trash can, and it just might be the first of thousands, but officials say it'll save money in the long run. Sleeker designed bins with sensors alerting crews when they're almost full and will be tamper resistant. It'll block rodents out and keep sidewalks cleaner. An existing green trash can recently purchased by the Department of Public Works cost around $1,200. And finally, check this out. Some incredible video out of Phoenix. 2 people being rescued by helicopter after their food delivery truck was overcome by flash flooding waters. Not something you certainly expect to see in Phoenix, but that is a wild scene down there, no doubt about it. Coming up at 2 a.m. as always, Zombo. He's got The Vampire. Have a good night.
Please, we can talk.